just needed to stick and make it hard, that's all.
I'm not pumping the agents all the time.
Maybe the best invention in the history of mankind was gel. It's beautiful.
Here he is, one half of the team, Donnie and Dolly, weekdays 10 to 12 on Czech Television. It's Canucks Insider, and Friday regular, the one and only Rick Dhaliwal.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Always a pleasure to be on with you two.
Great to have you, Ricky. We'll start with Aidan McDonough. He's got a conference tournament this week for Northeastern and may well have some games beyond that. But what's the latest? What are you hearing?
So this Sunday, possibly, guys, his season could be over. If they lose tomorrow, and depending what on some other teams do, not highly likely his season's over Sunday, but there's a possibility. So we had to check in. You know, the big decision is coming anyways, whether it's this weekend or next weekend, guys. As of right now, I'm told NCAA sources say the expectation is that McDonough will sign with the Canucks. Multiple sources indicate it's trending in the right direction. Vancouver's been talking daily with the McDonough camp for the last 2-3 weeks, guys. Everything's been positive. I have not heard anything negative at all. And the Canucks put zero pressure on McDonough to have a decision by last week's trade deadline, is what I was told. So Canucks GM Patrick Allvin met with the McDonough camp on January 7th in Boston. That meeting went really well. Allvin mapped out a plan for McDonough. This team, guys, is not flush with prospects on the farm. So this is a player they really like, and I think the player is also going to see himself with an opportunity to climb the rankings. Now, people ask, where's he going to start if he signs this weekend or next weekend? I'm going to guess and tell you that it's Vancouver, not Abbotsford. So if that happens, and then, you know, you're going on his entry-level deal, is just going to be is you're burning a year, right? So it's going to be 2 years after that, right?
That tends to be now a condition of signing, Rick. Do you believe the Canucks have made a promise to him there?
Well, no, because I never heard that early on. You know, I heard other stuff early on. So what look, the Canucks did something really smart here. They got ahead of the ball, started talking with them, and obviously the kid was concentrating on hockey, what I was told, and continues to concentrate on his team for Northeastern. But look, most of these kids that come out, the nugget the team in the NHL can give you is, hey, you can play NHL games right away, right? We saw it with Besser, Hughes, and multiple other players as well.
Well,
right?
And the other thing, and we talked about this yesterday on the show, Rick, I wouldn't even be surprised if they guaranteed him a block of NHL games. Just with the way the NHL schedule fell this year, you're playing regular season games till mid-April. As you say, his season could be over as soon as Sunday. So, he could play 10, 12 games for the Canucks this year, depending on how it all fell.
That's it, and that's what I mean. I remember Kellen Lane came up. There was another guy that went to Penticton, NCAA guy, had a good camp. We talked about this on the show. The two NCAA guys that Canucks hit on in the past 12 years, Chris Tanev was huge, and Sam Gagner, Dave Gagner, his dad had a big role in Chris Tanev ending up in Vancouver. That was during the Gillis thing, but Gagner was a part of the Gillis regime. He played a big part in Christopher ending up, and he's been the best one. Troy Stetcher, who I believe should never have left in the first place, but he gave the Canucks good service. So look, why are the Canucks in on NCAA players? Well, I'll talk about free agency in a minute, but they're free. I mean, these are free guys the Canucks can get. It doesn't cost you any equity, any draft picks, nothing. So we'll see how Aiden McDonough goes. He's a seventh rounder from 219. Canucks like his size. I know he's a winger. He's not a centerman, folks, but Canucks like his size. And when Allvin went to see him in that outdoor game in Boston, he scored that beautiful goal, right? Which was on a breakaway, I think, or a semi-breakaway. But Canucks like this player a lot.
The biggest steal in NCAA, though, would be to find a defenseman like you just talked about. You just talked about two defensemen there in Stetcher and in Tanev.
And Tanev,
getting a winger, that's a long shot. They got a ton of wingers. It's not imperative. But if they can find a defenseman, by all means.
Yeah, but I'll say this thing about the winger situation. You don't know that all these wingers are going to be here at training camp next year.
You're right.
Yeah. So I'm sure they've talked to the McDonough camp and mapped out a plan. This is where we see you fit. This is how you're going to fit in our organization. And I'm sure they've talked about everything under the sun.
Will they find a defenseman?
Yeah, I was going to say, Tanev and Stetcher, the tie that binds there is two right-shot defensemen. What can you tell us about Jake Livingstone and Malinsky, the Cornell right-shot defenseman, and Livingstone, of course, the kid from Creston at Minnesota State.
Okay, first let me say this. With the McDonough signing looking like it's heading in that direction, it tells me the Canucks probably are not going to get a forward here because they like a center, Max Sasson at Western Michigan. They like him. His advisor is Dan Milstein, who's got 99% of the Canucks roster. Just kidding. So Max Sasson is a guy they like. A lot of teams in on him. But so now that McDonough looks like it's going to happen, the Canucks should turn their attention to a defenseman. Obviously, Jake Livingstone, former Langley Riverman, big 6'4", 220 right shot D. Sam Malinsky at Cornell, right shot D. Another guy they like a lot is Livingstone's partner at Minnesota State, and that is Akito Hiroshi, another former BC Hockey League guy, played in Salmon Arm. He's a left shot D, Akito is, but the Canucks really like him. He hasn't decided if he's going to come out. I've talked to his advisors. They don't know if he's going to come out. A lot of this is going to obviously have to wait. I just love it. Some guy on Twitter today, the Canucks are going to get Livingstone. That's funny. I talked to somebody that would know today that you can guess till you're blue in the face. They are going to make sure when their season's over, They will sit down and discuss. They know the teams that are interested, but those people that think the Livingston's going to end up in Vancouver just because he's a BC boy, I'm not so sure about that. But this Sam Malinsky's he's a really good defenseman too out of Cornell. So we'll see. I'm not saying that Livingstone's not coming here. I think it's just a little premature for everyone to say it's just automatic he's coming to Vancouver. By the way, ton of teams in on both those guys.
And our friend J.D. Burke of Elite Prospects reporting the Canucks also have interest in Reese Gaber, a winger from North Dakota. So it should be fun. We'll see if they can land any of these college free agents. And as we've long said, there's ample opportunity for the Canucks, particularly on defense and particularly at center ice. Tanner Pearson, Ricky, what's happening there?
Oh, boy. Pearson hurt November 9th, hand injury. That was supposed to be, 4 to 6 weeks, guys? 4 to 6 weeks. We're now in month 5. His season shut down on January 12th. The Pearson recovery, I was told, long way to go. They still don't know if he's going to play next season. Also hearing he most likely is not done for surgeries. I've got him at 5 surgeries so far. The infection in the hand has caused all the problems and the length of the injury. Very tough situation for Pearson. Definitely feel for him. It's just like I can't say enough, guys. It was supposed to be 4 to 6.
Yeah.
And we're in month 5, and it looks like it's
is there still a grievance there between him and the PA and the team? What's going on?
I don't know if there was. I don't know if there was ever a grievance filed, Blake. All I just know is that the NHLPA is monitoring this situation, I think, and that's all I can say. I don't know if there was ever a grievance filed. The grievance will be filed on behalf of Pearson, I would presume, and his agent, but I have not heard that. I just know one thing, that the NHLPA is obviously monitoring this, but it's just really bad luck for Pearson, and it just poor guy's going through a lot, and it just doesn't look like he's going to be healthy anytime soon.
Now, you're right. The PA said they were looking in. There's no official
there's been
paperwork
no
grievance. Secondly, we have a listener, Mike in Portland, who's either a doctor or on the verge of being a doctor, who when this first came up, wrote me a long note saying, look, it sounds a little bit worse than it is, the multiple surgeries, just because with hands and the little bones that are in them, that, oftentimes you can have to have multiple procedures to get fixed up. The question, Rick, is if he's not healthy in the summer, they can't buy him out, right? So he becomes an LTIR guy. If at the beginning of the season he still isn't ready to play, and that's going to obviously have some impact on how they go about setting the gap in the opening night roster and all of those things. So
that's true.
That's the next step for me.
And we also heard when he was shut down on January 12th, we also heard reports that, you know what, it could be career-threatening. They're not there yet. They don't know. They're still going through this, but you certainly feel for him and hope he gets better soon.
I'll put you on the spot here, Rick. Pullman has been on the ice recently. We were just brainstorming about OEL recently as well. I mean, what's the prospect of either of those guys coming back on the ice before the end of the season, or even their futures as Canucks? Have you heard anything about those guys?
I've been so busy obviously the trade deadline wrapped up, and then I was working on McDonough and Pearson last night. I haven't looked into OEL, and I don't even know when Hronik's going to get here for the Canucks, or I think he's here when he's going to play. Yeah. So the injury stuff I've been staying away from, just simply I've been busy. And, I want to say this, a good move by the Canucks to sign Brisebois, RFA, and I'll tell you why. There's some good stuff going on in Abbotsford, and this is a guy who hasn't drafted. When was he drafted? In 2015, third round. This is what you call persistence. And he's got a good attitude. Attitude keeps bringing him back. The Canucks for a reason. The character, culture, getting better. Those young guys in Abbotsford, they need veterans who are good on and off the ice. That's why the Canucks have also started contract talks with defenseman Noah Juulsen as well. It's no different, guys, than that junior team and the importance of signing 20-year-olds and how important they are for the culture of those 16, 17, 18-year-olds. So those young players in all leagues, they need guidance from older players. Canucks love Juulsen. He's a blue-collar type guy. He's a good team player. Brisebois as well. I'm hearing a lot of good things about it. This is a couple of good moves here.
Yeah, and they played well, Ricky. You got to give them their credit. Well. They've been asked to come on up here and fill in a difficult spot.
We're talking about NCAA. We're talking about NCAA players, guys. These are two 25-year-olds. It's not too dissimilar than a college free agent.
That's right. Kid is 25 this summer. Livingstone's 24.
You don't want guys on the farm who bitch and complain, so-and-so got called up. I didn't get called up. Mm-hmm. That's not what you want. You want guys on the farm that have good attitudes, and you build a team. You do it with good culture guys, and Brisebois is one. Noah Juulsen's one. They'll get Juulsen done is my gut feeling. Wolanin, I haven't heard talks yet, but he's a UFA. I think he's in a little different category in the sense that, his agent's probably going, hey, hold it, we got something here or not? I haven't heard that they've started talks with Wolanin yet, but he's been another great find and a great, all three of those guys, Brisebois, Juulsen, and Wolanin, they've been incredible since they got called up, and good on them, to bide their time in Abbotsford. They got the call. And they've filled in admirably, and it just really that's a really good feel-good story there for the Canucks for sure.
Ethan Bear, we understand he's getting ready to return to the lineup here. Also, saw your report with the agent that they pretty much shelved it because they couldn't really agree the last time they met, but it's coming down to either a 1-year qualifying offer, extend the RFA, or perhaps a 3-year deal. But
3 year.
Tell me.
Okay, so let me get into Ethan Bear. We had the agent on Donnie and Dolly earlier this week. RFA with arb rights, $2.2 million is his salary. So the qualifying is 2.2. UFA in a year. Now this is going to be important. Two sides have not talked since the All-Star break. They're far apart. That tells me the Canucks' first offer was pretty low. So they're talking about a 3-year deal as well. So I believe they will do a deal for Ethan Bear anywhere from 3 years to 1 year. If you're going to buy 2 FA years, that's going to cost the Canucks. And Bear's okay. I think he's told his agent he's okay with a 1-year deal. If he does a 1-year deal, you're betting on yourself, right? So, but I just wonder something like what I was thinking about the other day is Hronik is your top right shot D. If Myers comes back, there's your second guy, right shot D. I wonder if the Canucks offer has reflected that they think that Ethan is a good third right pair guy. And so, I just wonder about that because is he going to play ahead of Myers and Juulsen? I'm just looking at it from a Canucks perspective. So work to do. We'll see how it ends up. But, you never want to go to arbitration. You guys both know when you go to arb, it can get ugly in those cases, right?
And is he playing tomorrow or soon here?
I don't know. I haven't talked to Rick Tocchet today.
Oh.
I'm joking. How? You ask me I know, they're going to text me and tell me. I'll sit and wait like everybody else.
Yeah,
It'd
Matt.
be nice to know if Ethan Bear's playing tomorrow. I don't know. The Canucks don't call me and tell me. In fact, they never tell me anything. I have to get stuff on my own.
Yeah, Matt.
Canucks signed a Russian defenseman today, their 7th-round pick in this past draft. Help me out, Ricky. Kirill.
Come on, Rick.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so this happened after the show, thank God. The Canucks have signed Kirill Kudratsov. Kudratsov.
Is that Kudratsov?
I don't think you can say that.
Let me finish. Quit cutting me off.
Okay.
Kirill Kudratsov. And that's 7th-round pick in 2002. So that's another Milstein client. Why don't they just call it the Vancouver Milsteins? So anyways, I just texted Milstein. I said, "What's up with the signing? Why sign now? What do the Canucks like about him?" So CHL 1 more year due to his age, so he'll be back in junior next year, guys. Very good.
He plays
player.
for Sault Ste. Marie. He is a Russian over here playing OHL hockey.
Yeah.
We should know.
So he's going to go back and play in junior next year. And so why don't they just call it the Vancouver Milsteins? Like, do the Canucks know any other agents on this planet?
That's 2 7th-round picks that could be signing in the same month here, guys. I mean, not many teams sign 2 recent 7th-round picks.
That's right.
I did hear that they really like this kid, and he does have 45 points in 60 games. And he's a left shot D. He's not a right shot D. But, as you guys know, right shot D are a whole lot harder to find. But you know what? He dropped in the draft. I don't know why, but he's certainly on some boards. I saw him a little higher. But he's a good prospect, and 1 more year at the Sioux next year, and then maybe come down to Abbotsford and start pecking away and working. And
he's improved year over year in all the offensive stats, at least from the blue line. So he's going to be an offensive defenseman. So looks pretty good.
So Blake, you probably rolled your eyes when I butchered the name. So how do you say it?
I don't know.
How do you say it? Because you're the Harvard, Princeton guy. We're just the Douglas College NWSS guy.
I'm going to guess. I've never seen it. I've never tried to pronounce it before. I'm going to guess. Kudratsev.
Okay, go.
Kudratsev.
Kudratsev?
I'm guessing you don't pronounce the Y or the V.
Kudratsev? Okay. Yeah. No, I was close. I'm always in the neighborhood.
Do you win better on the 7th round front? Blake, Lucas Forsell, 7th rounder from 2021.
He's having a good year.
Yeah, he's got 11 goals for Färjestad in the Swedish league. Who knows? He might be. So they're doing well in the 7th round. It's just all those middle rounds in between.
The surefire ones that you want.
Yeah. And then.
And I think this is why they wanted McDonough so bad. And last year, I think the Canucks were a little disappointed he stayed the extra year.
Yep.
And this year they got. I got to give Alvin credit. They worked McDonough hard, and they did a good job there. And get him in. He's a big kid on the wing. And I know you guys are going to say another winger. Their 2 biggest organizational needs are right shot D and center. No. They need guys like when I see them, if they got money on July 1st, they got to, first of all, get a 3rd-line center that can give them good minutes when the top 6 centers get hurt. And I go back to that game in Dallas where Miller wasn't playing. And Niles Amon, God, you love him. But in 20 minutes as 2nd-line center, he was 37% in the faceoffs. If you're going to, 2nd-line center is going to be only like that, you're going to chase the game the whole time. And one thing, I love Niles Amon. One thing he's got to do in the summer is work on faceoffs because, you love him. He's a good skater for a big guy. But if you're going to play higher up in the lineup as a centerman, you got to do better on draws.
Guys, how about that 2019 draft for the Canucks? They had 9 draft picks, not a single defenseman. Not a single like you're there. You're going up to like 9 times.
Blake, we sat there at Rogers Arena going, another forward, another. Okay, now a goaltender. Are they ever going to draft defenseman? That was the first draft without Trevor Linden, and it's like Benning and everyone went, oh, good, we don't have him leaning over us saying where the defensemen are going to come from. So we're going to get all wingers.
And
just so you know, Rick.
Yeah.
No one here was going to say another winger like we heard Donnie say.
I know, he was all over the show.
We were wondering, why Donnie's so cranky these days?
Oh, he's not cranky. He's actually. You know what it is?
He seems kind of pissy these days. What's wrong with Donnie?
No. He had a minor hockey game, and Blake would know this. He had a minor hockey game in Chilliwack on Tuesday night. And, that's quite on a Tuesday night. Like, and if you ever get, I don't think Matt knows anything about tiering in minor hockey, but sometimes you get teams like Whistler and Chilliwack and Abbey in your tier, and you got to travel on a weekday. It becomes a long night, a long day.
So he was tired.
He went to Chilliwack on Tuesday night or Wednesday, came back, and he didn't have much sleep. So you know what? Cut him some slack, Price, Sekeres. Cut him some slack.
Me.
Okay.
We know about minor hockey. We had kids in minor hockey. Some of those road trips are just horrendous on weekdays.
Blake's boy just finished up his minor hockey career.
Won a banner game on Wednesday night there, Rick.
Absolutely.
Finished up his career
nice.
with a trophy. How about that, huh?
Oh, you love the trophies.
Yeah.
Just drop the mic.
Oh, hey, hold it a second, Blake. Do you let your kids eat McDonald's in minor hockey? Because Connor Bedard's mom says he never eats McDonald's.
Yeah. It's funny you say that.
Why?
Well, it's not about
do you let your kid eat McDonald's?
Yes. I mean, the once in a blue moon that we go, yeah. I mean, we did it probably a few weeks ago. But my kids don't know what's on the McDonald's menu is the truth.
So and Henderson's all bitching like a little baby that he has had McDonald's. Look, when it comes to elite players and academies, it's a different thing, and I get it. But the majority of minor hockey kids, a lot of play house, play rep in smaller communities. I get it. But this guy's going to be the first overall pick. I believe Connor Bedard's mom. I believe those kids at academies, they eat right. They watch their bodies. It's 24/7 now, 12 months of the year. These kids are eating right now. I don't find that hard to believe.
I'm surprised they didn't view it as the forbidden fruit and just want to eat nothing but McDonald's after being told you're not allowed.
When
it's great discipline actually on the children.
When I covered junior hockey in the 90s up north, and after games we get on the bus and the boys would get a slimy, greasy pizza with Pepsi and Coke. Those days are over. You want to go far in hockey now, and these academies, it's tough. To make these academy teams. I can see the elite players blocking McDonald's out. I can.
Ricky, I remember some junior hockey buses where we got beer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember, senior hockey. I covered senior hockey. Holy smokes.
Wow.
The first thing we did before we got out of the parking lot, we all put $10 into a hat, went to the liquor store, got the beer for the trip home, and little Ricky'd get off that bus feeling pretty damn good. And then 4 hours later, I have to be on the air.
I'm sure it was the good stuff too, right? I'm sure it was cases of yellow dog.
That's when he changed. Yeah, that's when he changed to Crown.
I was a big Kokanee guy back then, and it was Kokanee and those senior
you trying to appeal to Jake Livingstone again, or have we circled back to Jake Livingstone?
The Kootenai guy. All right. Thanks, have a good weekend.
Ricky, we got to get you out to Northlands here soon. Okay, see here, your golf game is measuring
it'd
up.
be nice if we had a hot sunny day. I'm not golfing in this crazy weather.
Hey, Hey, every year you play with me in January, February, March, somewhere in there.
It's too cold.
Hey, stop! You got to come out. Okay.
My kid just asked me to golf Saturday. I said, no, it's too cold. I'm not,
and who are those other Milstein clients that are interested in the UFAs this summer?
Hold on a sec.
Forward from St. Louis, now Vegas, and then the defenseman in L.A., formerly Columbus.
What are you talking about?
The
Max
pro
Sasson, Western Michigan.
No,
we're talking the NHL free agents.
Yeah. They're also
clients. And Barbashev. Yeah, those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Nailed it.
Is there going to be a statue of Dan Milstein outside Rogers Arena if the Canucks win the Cup?
Right beside Pat Quinn. Have a good weekend.
We don't do statues of players. We do statues of coaches and maybe agents.
I love Dan. Dan's a good guy.